This video explains what Fooocus AI is and how this interesting AI image generation app works. We can use it locally on our computer, which is great. This is important as we often want to generate images on our own device. It also has an online option with both free and paid plans available. We have a video explaining how the paid plan works. This isn't your typical image generator where you just input a prompt and get an image. You do input a prompt, but you can also add negative prompts, choose the upscale, and set the image ratio. This gives you more freedom to create images exactly as you imagine them, which makes it such an interesting program. Here are all the options I mentioned, explained in this section. That's what Fooocus AI is and what it's for. How can we get Fooocus and this app? As I mentioned in the video about its purpose, it has an online version and a PC version. To get it, go to their website. The first section you'll see in this area is where you'll need to scroll down to the download part. Click where it says click here, and a compressed file will be added to your downloads. The file is about 6 GB in total. You'll see a progress bar. Once done, open the folder, extract it where you want on your PC, and click any of the 3 programs: Run Anime, or Randy Stick. This will start compiling the program. Then open your browser to see the interface where you can start using it. It's that simple to get, so let's start generating our first images. I'll demonstrate how this incredible program works using a prompt I've had for a while about a girl, river bong, or katana. First, we'll input our desired prompt and click on the Add Match section to start adjusting the initial parameters. You'll see 4 main sections: Settings, Style, Models, and Modal Band. In the Settings section, you'll specify how you want the model to look, whether more realistic or anime style. This depends on what you're aiming to create and the quality you want for the final product. If you need images quickly and quantity matters more, you might prefer the extreme speed option, for example. But typically, when testing these programs, we don't use quality to see which it's the highest level this program can reach, isn't it? You can also adjust the image rate based on your desired image quality. Choose what works best for your photo. Wow. Now here's something incredible about this app. You can generate up to 32 images at once with the same prompt. This is amazing. Imagine taking a prompt and telling it, I input the prompt, set the quality if I want, let the computer work for however long it needs, and it produces 32 different images from that single prompt. This is fantastic for creating variations, mixing ideas, or picking the best elements from each. It's incredible. Lastly, choose your output format: PNG, JPG, or WP, and don't forget the negative prompt. That's where you specify what you don't want in the image. We usually put things like no text and so on. Maybe it's putting things in images that you don't want. You can use this negative prompt to specify what you don't need. In the Style section, you can choose the style you want the program to use for generating these images. As you can see by hovering over any option, you can get an idea of how each one works, what kind of art it produces. You have quite a selection there, whether you want something more video game-like or more realistic. I'm going to use a game theory prompt, okay? Since my prompt is cyberpunk, I'll tell it to use these 3 or 4 styles I've selected. If you know a specific style or want to find content, there's a search bar available. In the models section, you'll specify which model to use for generating these images. We'll use the default one, but you can choose a different one or even add a refiner, okay? If you want to find models, I recommend Civity AI. We have a tutorial there, and it's a great place for models. We've used it for other ConfUI tutorials, which is similar to this app, so check it out if you're interested. Lastly, in advanced, set the guidance scale. It determines how artistic the output will be, and the image sharpener controls how clean and crisp the final image appears. Don't limit yourself to these options, as it might affect the image quality when generating. Once everything is set up, you can click on Generate. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's crucial to use English prompts with these AI programs, okay? The machine understands English better. As you can see, it's now generating the image. You'll watch it generate frame by frame, transforming into the text you've input. Let's see what result we get. As you can see, this is the final result from our prompt. Incredible. It looks amazing with the cyberpunk style. The man here, totally cyberpunk mode. You can create incredible things. I hope this helped, and now you can generate your first images, right? Let's look at the best advanced options for Fooocus AI. We'll scroll down and activate the first advanced section first. This is the interface we'd normally use, but there are some interesting features in this interface. it's important you know and understand how they work. For example, the image number feature, it's useful for generating multiple images at once. You can set the number of images up to 32 max. You can let it run to create all 32 images at once. No need to manually generate each one repeatedly. Many apps lack this. It's a very useful feature. Another advanced option is in the models section. We can use up to 5 different LoRa models. For those unfamiliar, LoRa models are trained for specific purposes, for instance with your face, to understand how to create an image of it. This way the machine learns to generate a well-crafted image of your face and make it as accurate as it truly is. We can mix up to 5 different LoRa's for various purposes. If we want an image with our face, we might use 2 LoRa's, one for generating studio style images and another for our face. It's fascinating for those wanting to use the program at an advanced level. In the advanced section, there's an option to activate developer mode. This is for people who truly understand image control and generation. For example, we can change the models used to create these images. Basically, this section of sliders, or the DPM you see here, these are like shapes, or rather paths the image follows as it's created. This, for example, gives us a more realistic look, so people familiar with VAE and such can use it. It'd have many sections for control and inpainting. Also, if we switch to the input image and activate it, we have various advanced options like upscale variation. We can upscale the image up to twice its size. Quite useful if you need to upscale an image. You could also do image blending to mix different images and use a prompt to blend them together, like putting a face on a differently generated body. We used this in a video on creating AI characters. Finally, there's an interesting section I liked. Describe. As I was saying, I really like this tool because it lets you upload an image. In this case, I've uploaded this image and you can have it describe what's in the picture. You can also specify if the content is a normal photo or anime art. It then creates a description like a prompt based on this image, so you can use this prompt to generate more images similar to this one. It's not bad, but honestly it could be better as the output is quite basic. It didn't mention the car's details like what type it is or if it's an SUV. So it's okay, but this feature could be improved. With these advanced options, you can now create your best images. Let's see how to generate images from a prompt and 2 different images. For example, in this case, I've used a car model, a specific car type, and the contrast and color I wanted for this photo. To do this in Fooocus, we need to go to the input image section and then to image prop. Here we'll put the main image that interests us most, which will be the focal point of the image, what will be the center of attention, so to speak. Then we'll add an image of how we want the surrounding environment to develop around what will be the main focus of the creation. I did this with a car and a city, but now I'm going to do it with a cyberpunk warrior I created with ear and a different background. I've changed the prompt and images, putting the image for the cyberpunk landscape. We'll choose the FPDS option to maintain the contrast. For the other, we'll select image prop and hit generate. This process might take a while since it's running on our PC. The duration depends on your computer's specs, but for me it could take about a minute. As you can see, it's starting to create the environment based on the image contrast and prompt I provided. It's generating what I requested. Let's see how it actually performs and if it truly adheres to what I asked for. This is the final result it has given me. It's not bad, but it's not exactly what I asked for. So we're going to adjust the stop ad section. Let's adjust wake to make it more accurate to what I'm inputting now. We'll increase stop ad and wake slightly, then regenerate the image. As you can see, this is the new image. It's much more accurate to the character I described and quite similar to what I had in mind. It's also generated the snowy landscape I asked for. We could be more specific, as I said wasteland, but it's not exactly that. It's actually a city. You can see a cyberpunk cityscape, but it is snowy, so it's close to what I requested. It's all about experimenting. This option is useful in many cases, like placing a character in a specific setting when you're unsure how to do it. You can blend images or create characters, which we cover in another video. Well, that's all for now. See you next time. If you're watching this video, it's because you want to know how to upscale your images for free using Fooocus AI. Inside this program, we have our input image section with different options, including upscale over variation. To upscale and improve image quality, we'll create an image in this section. Choose the upscale or variation we want, click generate, and it'll show upscaling image from with new dimensions. It'll start the upscaling process and we'll see the image. Now it's going through the steps to upscale and we'll check if the difference is noticeable. Finally, it's done the image upscale. Let's save it and compare. As you can see, this is the upscale result. Look closely at the jacket area. You'll notice it lacks details or looks dirty, as if there's noise in the image. Also in the building area, though blurred, you can see image noise. However, on the right side, notice how the noise in the pants has vanished, replaced by more detail. It's impressive. The feet and all look great. The lights might still show a bit of noise, but that's normal. Buildings look cleaner too. It's quite an interesting upscale, useful for some photos. Now you know how to upscale images easily and for free. How could we generate our own AI characters, all AI generated, and how could we modify them? Or rather, how could we replace a person's face in an image with our characters? That's what we're going to explore now. First, we'll create our character. I'll adjust the style settings and generate with this prompt. As we can see, it's already created the image of that person, right? This is what the person we'll be using looks like. The first step is to download and save this image. Now we want to turn this character into a full-fledged persona. We'll create different poses using this face to build our virtual character. To do this, we'll activate the input image section. Now we simply need to go to the image prompt section and upload both the girl's image and the pose we want to put her in. Now I'll upload the pose photo, right? So this is the photo of the desired pose, and this is the face we want to use. For this, we'll select the face swap option, which will swap the girl's face onto this one. Here I'll use Pyrocanic, which will use this pose and image as a reference environment. Let's go ahead and click generate. As we can see, the process begins here. Notice it's using the original image's environment, but the face is starting to resemble this girl instead of the one on the right. It will gradually process and generate the result. As you can see, it's appearing more and more, and it's changing. In this stop path and wait section, raising stop path will make it look more similar, while lowering it will make it look less similar. And the same goes for wait. If you're not satisfied with the result and it doesn't look similar enough, you can adjust these settings. For example, I may have added too many steps to make it resemble that girl, and it removed the car I had placed for the pose. As you can see, the girl looks quite similar to the one below, although the eyebrows aren't exactly the same. Now, I'm going to tell it to look more like this image instead of the other one, to create a better blend. Okay, I've figured out why it's failing, and I completely forgot to mention it. It's not just about changing this setting, but also I forgot to mention she's leaning on someone in a car, so it wasn't detecting that properly. That's why it wasn't working quite right. Now let's keep the car mirror and see how the image turns out. As we can see, this is the final result we've got. Basically, it took this girl's photo and added the other girl's features. It's pretty good, but could be improved to look more like the girl here. Just tweak the settings. This way, you can create your character in various poses with different mirror angles. You can generate multiple images or GIFs to make a realistic AI-generated character. So now you know how to create your own characters. Which of the two image generation tools is better? Well, today we'll be looking into that. I'll be sharing my experience as I've used both quite extensively. I've spent a good amount of time generating images and testing them. I'll tell you what I think are the strengths and weaknesses of each program. First, let's talk about configuring. As you can see, it's a node-based interface. We can have as many nodes as we want and connect them in the right way, okay? To generate our final image, we can switch between various models, add LoRa's, etc. These options are also available in Fooocus itself. There's nothing this other app can't do, but with the stable diffusion model, we have more customization options for models where we can add many different types of models, right? Not just that. It often gives us more customization, and Fooocus's interface is much more user-friendly. As you can see, it's better for someone who's not used to working with node-based interfaces, you know? It also offers great customization, so maybe it's an option, yeah? For a more casual user, right? Who doesn't want such extreme customization, because it literally lets you you can change just one specific piece of clothing, see, and do super personalized complex things. Honestly, you can do that with Fooocus too. Maybe not as complex as changing clothes or patterns, but you can mix images. We have a video showing how to blend faces with photos like we've done here. What about the describe feature? You give it an image, it processes it and provides a prompt you can use. So the program understands what you want to create. One positive aspect of Fooocus AI is that it has an image number option where we can specify how many images we want generated in one go. We can ask for 1, 2, or up to 34 images, right? Actually, the maximum is 32 images, so that's an option. This can be really helpful, can't it? If we want to generate multiple options to find our favorite or get more inspiration, Steve's Fusion model allows this, but it had to be done manually, right? Creating different branches for those sections, correct? And well, it would be a much more tedious job than what you're doing now. Midjourney just needs a prompt and it creates as many versions as you want. So in this aspect too, it's quite an interesting option that might be useful for us. Now, in the aspect ratio section, Fooocus has less customization than settings. In settings, you can quickly set any aspect ratio you want. It's fully customizable. So my conclusion is that if we're looking for a user-friendly interface for someone less experienced, but still wants some customization to edit images as we like, Fooocus is not the option. But if we're people who want to specialize in very specific professional tasks and we're willing to spend time learning how the interface works to get results closest to what we envision, then definitely what you're looking for is Capture One. So now you know the differences and which one is most recommended for your need. And the section everyone wonders about when using an app. How much will this cost me? How much will I have to shell out here? Well, let's take a look at Fooocus's pricing. As you can see, we have the free plan and the advanced plan. But first, remember that this app can be completely free if you want, with all these advanced features. The difference is you'd need to install the program on your computer. Okay, here they're using cloud computing. So they charge for the service they use to render all the photos you'll use later. That is, all the computing power being used. Know that there's a video on how to get this program for free, and you can go watch it. But anyway, these are the two online plans available if you want to try out how Fooocus works, right? First, let me tell you that in the free version, you'd have partial access to Fooocus. The functionality is limited, and honestly, they restrict you quite a bit when using the program. But then there's the advanced version where we have unlimited uses. Plus, we can use the Upscaling and variation features, which I've shown in many videos, the image prompt, in-paint and out-paint metadata, and multiple style options, just to give you an idea of what this is like, what it would mean for you, Well, it's simply that you can create images, not unlimited obviously, but you can create images by setting model parameters, aspect ratio, rate, how many images you want to create, but since they're not unlimited, you can't make too many and all the style options, okay? But it won't let you choose from all available styles. It has tons of styles, which, well, yeah, there are videos where we explain all the styles we have. In a video showing how Fooocus works, you can see the styles. There are tons of them, but it would let you use some different models or the ones you want to use if that's what you want, right? So they limit that part, but give you another. That's what the advanced plan pricing would give you. In my humble opinion, I'd say the best thing is to get it. And as I said, there's a video for that. So that's Fooocus pricing. So, pay up or get it.